Welcome back, everyone. My name is Vandana Saxena-Poria, and I'm your guider of ceremonies for today. Right, sustainability. We just talked about buzzwords, and this is another which is no longer a buzzword. One of the major challenges plaguing the world is the challenge of energy. And without energy, we cannot develop large-scale solutions that the world needs to handle the growing population and growing industry. But however, without smart, efficient energy, we may not have a world to live in at all. So please welcome Vikas Arya, who is the strategic head of sales and marketing for the Jackson Group, who's going to be speaking about accelerating sustainable energy through Industry 4.0. Remember, you can send questions in the chat box. So as he speaks, please do send your questions and I'll ask them at the end. Over to you, Vikas.
Hello, a very good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome to all of you for this session on accelerating sustainable energy through Industry 4, which is being organized by ISCC for this Integrated India 2021 conference. I think it is a very relevant topic today as Industry 4 has a very significant role to play in accelerating sustainable energy. Now, let me set the context for this session, what I'm going to talk about. As we all know, there has been a very rapid development in the digital technology. And this has brought in a lot of phenomenon in the industrial revolution, which is generally called as Industry 4. So Industry 4 fundamentally, what it talks about the productivity, improvement in productivity and better quality through the deployment of the new technologies like augmented reality, blockchain technologies, Internet of Things, data analytics, 3D printing, robotics, and automation, etc. The aim of using all these new technologies is to improve the connectivity among various components of a manufacturing within that industry. This process is guided by a vision of merging the physical world of industrial production with the digital world of information, communication, and technology. While use of new technology would definitely improve productivity, quality, and competitiveness, these new technology also have a huge potential to drive energy, efficiency, and unleash the potential of the renewable energy in the manufacturing sector. Thereby, it will help in reducing carbon emission, climate change, and optimizing the energy usage. There is a very strong interlinkage between the digital manufacturing and the sustainable energy. It is very important to integrate and manage both technical and financial performance to be competitive and sustainable. If this integration is executed effectively, the cost saving on energy can there be at unprecedented scale. Today, by investing the Industry 4 from the energy sustainability standpoint, it would be a very, energy efficiency and renewable sector is actually a very, very strong business case for the industry today. It would be very important for the industry to pursue this sustainable energy transition by leveraging the technology which will contribute towards achievement of the sustainable development goals. So when we talk about sustainable development goals, there are goal number 7, 9, and 13, which is a national priority. So I would like to touch upon these three sustainable goals which go hand in hand with this the topic which we are discussing about. When we talk about SDG 7, that is Sustainable Goal 7, it promotes affordable and clean energy. The aim is to ensure access to the affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all by 2030. SDG 9, it talks about industry, innovation, and infrastructure. The aim is to build a resilient infrastructure and promote inclusive as well as sustainable industrialization by fostering innovation. SDG 9 sets increased access to information and communication technology, which would contribute to the digitalization of the industry. And now when we talk about SDG 13, it is dedicated to the climate action. It is committed to the increased efforts on mitigating climate change and adapting to its impact. So if you talk about the climate change, it's a well-known fact that 2019 was the second warmest year on record, and a warmest decade was last 10 years, 2010 to 2019 are known as the warmest decade of last centuries. So this climate change is affecting every country on every continent. It is disrupting national economics and affecting lives. The weather patterns are changing, sea levels are rising, and weather events are becoming more extreme. So energy efficiency and renewable energy are two central components of the sustainable energy systems. They both play a pivotal role in achieving climate mitigation and sustainable development targets. Now, coming to the role of energy efficiency, let me talk about some data points on how to use the technology and how it can help in achieving energy efficiency and what are the potentials of industry, this industry for what we talk about. Now, industry 4 has the potential to bring down energy consumption for the industry, thereby improving the sustainability of the business. So it is very important not only for the sustainability of the environment but also for the business as well. So when we talk about these energy efficiencies and this industry 4, so it can help us in augmented reality can help us in reducing the energy consumption between 10 to 30%. Additive manufacturing can reduce energy usage by up to 25%, while big data and analytics has the potential to bring down energy consumption by 10%. Cloud computing can save more than 50% of energy of CPUs by switching off servers which are there. Autonomous algorithm can save up to 40% energy by using robotics. So it is estimated that by using this technology for promoting the energy efficiency, CO2 emission can be reduced by more than 4%. Now imagine the impact that Industry 4 can make in revitalization of the manufacturing sector, be it from a competitive standpoint or from a CO2 reduction standpoint. We may be aware that average global temperature has risen by about 1.1 degree over last couple of decades, with increase in the average rate from 1981 as compared to earlier decades. Since 1981, when the real industrialization has happened, the rate of increase of average temperature over the decade has increased significantly. So this is resulting in an ecological imbalance, whereby we witness acute hazards like heat waves, floods, droughts, rising sea levels, etc. The primary driver of temperature increase over the past 2 centuries is the human-caused rise in greenhouse gases, particularly carbon dioxide. Since the Industrial Revolution, which happened in mid-18th century, CO2 concentration in the atmosphere has risen by almost 67%. The planet will continue to warm until we commit and reach net zero emissions. Last year, there has been drop in the greenhouse gas emissions due to travel bans and economic slowdowns, which resulted from COVID-19 pandemic, which is only temporary. Once the global economy begins to recover from the pandemic, the emissions are expected to return to higher levels. So in the recent concluded UN Secretary General, one of the guidelines which were issued for the climate change positive actions from the governments to take once they go about building back the economies and societies after this pandemic. So they have made a 6-point program, which they have guidelines which has been issued for various countries. The point number 1 is the green transition. The investments must accelerate the decarbonization of all aspects of our economy. Then green jobs and sustainable and inclusive growth was the second point. Third is the green economy, making societies and people more resilient through a transition that is fair to all and leaves no one behind. We should invest in a sustainable solution. Fossil fuel subsidies must end and polluters must pay for their pollution. Confront all climate risks. And sixth, and the most important one, was cooperation. No country can succeed alone. So to address the climate emergency, post-pandemic recovery plans, it need to trigger long-term systematic shifts that will change the trajectory of CO2 level in the atmosphere. Now this calls a very significant change, and if we don't bring this change now, the global temperature is predicted to rise by 22.5 degrees Celsius by 2050, which will be disastrous not only for humankind but for all the living beings on this earth and planet. Now the industries which account for almost 25% of the electricity consumption, this is a very good enough reason to accelerate transition to adopt energy efficiency and renewable energy in this sector. Energy is a very critical need in every aspect of life today, and it plays a very key role in the sustainable growth of all the industries. There is a strong need for industry to focus on competitiveness and cost efficiency. energy and resource planning are both equally important for the sustainable development. As a matter of fact, energy efficiency nowadays is being considered to be one of the key business performance indicators for the industry. Today we are also talking about the new ISO guidelines which demand how we can improve upon our energy consumption year on year, quarter on quarter. So energy efficiency brings variety of benefits, including reduction in greenhouse gas emissions, reduction in demand for energy imports, and lowering of our cost on the household and at economy-wide level. Renewable energy technology also help to accomplish these objectives. Now, both these initiatives, when we talk about energy efficiency and the renewable, when they work together, they significantly bring down the usage of fossil fuels, which is the main source of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. As per the latest BE study, India has around 18% untapped energy efficiency potential. There is still an immense potential to be realized from large-scale implementation of energy efficiency intervention in various demands like industry, agriculture, transport, lighting, micro, small and medium-scale industries. The energy efficiency and the energy saving investment potential of the country is estimated to be more than 8,40,000 crores by end of 2031. This is the potential we're talking about only about India. If we talk about the global level, it is a very, very big numbers. This estimate is under the moderate saving scenario, wherein the industrial sector constitutes the highest potential for investment in the industrial saving equipment. Now, if you include all other sectors which are consuming industry, so definitely this saving will be much, much more. This can only be achieved by focused efforts and implementation of various innovative business models, which will help us unleash this huge potential. As per yet another study done by BE in 2018-19, due to the energy efficiency measures taken by the country, there has been consolidated saving of more than 89,000 crores. I think most of the people in India know about the kind of initiatives that has been taken by government, right from changing from LED lights to higher efficiency motors, energy efficiency motors, using variable frequency drives in the industry, higher efficiency of the various other equipments, the boilers and the compressors. So all those things have resulted in a significant saving over past few years. Now industry needs to think long term rather than short term, looking at the life cycle cost and the ROI rather than the initial investment. Of course, when we go for any kind of savings, it will look for initial investment is definitely there. But of course, we should look at the life cycle cost and the ROI. Now, these are the case studies which prove that investment made in the areas of energy efficiency, water, and environmental conservation makes the business more profitable, competitive, and sustainable over the long run. Imagine how much we can contribute to climate change initiated by adopting energy efficiency measures, besides being more cost competitive. Similarly, there is a potential for all sectors to integrate renewable energy with the conventional sources of power, which will not only bring down the energy cost, but will also contribute to the clean air initiative. Today, investing in a solar rooftop or a hybrid solution is a business case for MSMEs, even if there is no subsidy from government. There are 15 potential industrial sectors where the potential of solar energy and energy efficiency can be harnessed, which will benefit the industry and will make them cost effective as well as sustainable. India has already taken a very strong leap in last few years. The solarization of rooftop in various industries has increased. And if you talk about the various sectors which we feel are the key areas where this can have a major significant impact, they are automobile, steel, breweries, dairy, food processing, leather, petroleum, offshore rigs, pharmaceuticals, rubber, paper and pulp, textile, both spinning and weaving, as well as textile finishing, electroplating, galvanizing, tea and tobacco processing, and other agro applications. So these are all very high intensive energy consumption industries where when you go with renewable, it makes a big sense. Now, besides advantages of the competitiveness and reduction of CO2 emission, the digital manufacturing offers high degree of agility in the manufacturing customized products in a highly cost-effective manner. So that is where, apart from the reduction in the CO2, these new innovative technologies will help in improving the way we have been doing business or we have been doing manufacturing in the past decades. This would mean that energy cost for manufacturing tailor-made products which would not be higher than the mass-produced products, which is not the current scenario. So with this technology, we can become more cost effective. This is in turn a huge opportunity for the MSME, who could compete with countries like China, both on cost and quality, without having the advantage of volumes and scales. Completely new business models can be innovated with huge amount of data available in the digital marketing and manufacturing, right from production to the entire life cycle, including customer feedback and recycling opportunities. It is estimated that currently only 1% data is analyzed for making the decision around manufacturing. Big data could support sustainability by enabling better informed decisions, which would definitely help economy, environment, and society. Digital manufacturing also has a role to play in promoting circular economy. The sustainable energy transition and the Industry 4 share important characteristics that can be interconnected for 4 reasons. Both are highly influenced by the technological innovation, both are dependent on development of new infrastructure, both are dependent on regulations, and both are potential enablers for new business models. These commonalities need to be fully translated into suitable policies to foster this transition to more sustainable energy systems and digital production in an integrated manner. It is evident that transition towards more sustainable energy systems and digital transformation of industries would mutually benefit from each other. There can be many possibilities of incorporating sustainable energy concepts into digital factory. The approach of integration can be around using energy storage devices or substituting use of thermal heating with renewable or using renewable for producing green hydrogen, which in turn can be used for producing electricity. So this is how the integration of various technologies, the communication can make a lot of difference. The way we have been, way we can approach the energy consumption and energy generation in future. So these approaches can optimize both energy generation and energy consumption, thereby lowering the overall energy cost while protecting our environment. Clearly, the use of technology for energy efficiency and adoption of renewables in the industrial sector in our country needs to be fast-tracked. We would need to have requisite infrastructure, regulations, and related human resources to have faster adoption of digital technologies in manufacturing. The awareness of Industry 4 technologies and their benefits is certainly growing among all stakeholders, particularly the industrial leaders and policymakers. Before I conclude, I would like to share this that Jackson is committed to green and sustainable development. All our infrastructure and facilities are green buildings. In one of the Jackson facilities, we have been able to bring down the cost of electricity by 80% by deploying solar power. I will be happy to share the case study if someone wants to get into more details. I think to sum up, I can say that investing in Industry 4 for improving energy efficiency and using renewable power is the key to sustainable development of our industry. With that, thank you for hearing and giving this opportunity from IACC, and welcome to all of you for any question and answer session.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Vikas, for that really insightful session there. Vikas, before we get started with the questions, I'm very curious to know, you've managed to find yourself at the intersection of two amazing areas. One of them is renewables and energy, and the other is Industry 4.0. How did that happen? How did you get to that place?
Thank you, ma'am, for this opportunity and this session. So here, what I would say in last 25 years of my journey, I've been into power industry from the day one. The day I started my career as a trainee engineer with Bharat Bijlee Limited the way back in 1995. So that was a hardcore transformer manufacturing company. So straight away, I was going to thermal power plants, the distribution and transmission companies where big transformers are getting installed. So in the beginning of my career itself, I was very much involved in the power sector, and I saw the transformation of this, power. That those days, there used to be shortage of power, insufficient transformers. The voltage was around 132 to 20 kV was just catching up. And today, 25 years down the line, we are talking about 400 kV, 765 kV lines which are come up as far as the transmission is concerned. The way the generating power plants used to happen, I remember thermal power plants used to take, plenty of years, from designing to completion. So that has reduced, over a period of time in standardized designing and planning. So all those things have happened because, when this mobile and internet came, so it changed the way, things were happening. The things were very fast tracked. So I still remember, those days when we used to bid for any particular tender. So it was a big process, we used to have our headquarters in Mumbai. We were bidding for a tender in Delhi. So somebody has to fly down from Mumbai, getting all the tender documents together, physically take it there. And if it has to be going to Jammu, so it was a big target those days. The flights were not many. So either you have to go by train. If train gets late, you are late for the tender. Now today with this e-bidding happening, thanks to this, computer and internet era, so we are able to bid, tenders sitting anywhere across the globe, bidding for any particular requirement that we have. And even we want to discuss with anybody with our, within the company who may be sitting, in different areas, we can connect through this video call and Zoom calls. So things have changed drastically, and it has actually, helped in fastening the things up. So today we can do things much faster than what, we were used to do earlier. So mobile, the connectivity, the data transmission, the availability of information with everybody. So if I see from a positive point of view, it has helped everybody. Today we're talking about COVID and pandemic. So one thing is you have got, fake news also running, but at the same time, it is also helping in transmitting the right information to the remotest of the areas today, which may
And
not be
what's
possible,
available?
15 years back. Yes.
Absolutely. What's available, which hospitals are available, etc., etc.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these things have actually changed in last 20 years. I could see, if I go to the young generation today.
Yeah.
So my son has just started the career. I know the way they are today, maybe 20 years back, I could not even think of that this is how the, business are running. So he has joined a company. He has not physically gone to the organization. He has not seen anybody, but he's on the job, connected through this. And all these IT companies, have actually made, this is a very, very big contribution from the IT sector, I would say.
Sure.
And it is improving day by day. And now the time, but the relevant thing we're talking about in the manufacturing sector. I think it is going to be implemented in the, it has already started, but it is now the next leap that has to be taken.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you said. People have already experienced the change, and they know what it's like with the internet coming in and with mobile. So in some ways, there's no reason to be fearful of the changes that are coming in at the moment. But going back to your talk and really thinking about energy management, what are the areas that manufacturers should target for energy management, both for cost reduction as well as reducing the carbon footprint?
So I will divide it into two parts. One is there are certain mandatory things when you run any process plant. There are certain minimum sizes of machines or equipments you need to run to operate that. So one is you are making those things, with higher efficiency. So earlier we used to have, motors with lower efficiency. Today, if you talk about motors, we have got EFF1, EFF2, EFF3, EFF4. So now we are having, higher efficiency motors. Now we are using with variable frequency drives have come into picture. So these are, in the process industries that are actually helped in, saving a lot of energy. Now with the compressors and boilers which are coming today. So a lot of, engineering and design team is working on it, how to make the system more efficient. So as an industry, as everybody now understands, if I am buying initial cost is higher of a particular equipment, but if the running cost is lower, so people are going for that. So the change in the LED lights, if you see all the incandescent bulbs which you used to see 15 years back, they're all out now. So today nobody uses that. So we are all using LED lights at our home, at our offices. We are all using, this, when we say this, air conditionings, they're all coming out with, efficiency 3, efficiency 4, efficiency 5. So if I give you a live example, last month I changed the air conditioning of my house. I was just checking, how much, bill it has helped in saving from the previous one. The previous was a window AC. So it is already, at 50% of the load.
Yeah.
I'm talking about one AC at a one home. Now you multiply it by lakhs and crores of homes. So the kind of saving it is going to have. So, since I'm from the industry, I'm able to see it, I'm able to feel it. That is one part of it. You upgrade your processes, use the best of the efficiency systems. And second is, the carbon footprint. The biggest challenge today is, we have been dependent on thermal power plants, for our major source of power for past many decades. But in last 8 or 10 years, I would say after solar has come in and solar prices have become very, very competitive. So it has actually helped, in making a big change in the way the perception the people are looking at solar now. And if you see a renewable energy, if I generate one power of 1 unit of energy from solar, so and as compared to from a thermal power plant, so we are saving almost it is 40 trees worth carbon dioxide. So that is the amount of carbon dioxide extra which is produced when we are using a thermal power plant. So that is a big disadvantage, what we can see. But of course, they have got certain advantages as well. You cannot, just undo thermal power plants overnight. It will take some time. But yes, the additions that we are coming up with the new requirements of power energy, we need year on year. So we are now coming up more with the renewable energy. So last year we added around 9.7 gigawatt of energy installation in India, out of which 3.2 gigawatt was 3.5 gigawatt was from thermal and 6.2 gigawatt from solar or renewable energy.
Right.
So our energy mix in our year on year, we are seeing the renewable energy contribution is increasing, and another big advantage. Yes.
I was just going to say, and that's basically because prices have come down, technology's got better, and so it is much more competitive to do it, and it's something that people should be thinking about much more. So, I think you've already mentioned this, but I think it might be worth to spell out again. How can renewable energy help in bringing efficiency in industry? If you can really spell it out for people.
So if you talk from the industry point of view, one is when you are able to generate power in your own house, in your own industry. So power generation is happening in your own inside your own premises, and your consuming is also there and there. So you are reducing the transmission losses. There are no transmission and distribution losses are very minimum. That is one advantage. Secondly, you are utilizing the space of your roof for installation of the solar power plants. So you are not utilizing any extra space. And thirdly, it is helping you to reduce your electricity bill. So I can tell you the industries who have actually gone with solar, so they have reduced their electricity bills by more than 50%.
Wow.
So that is a saving which they have done. So their cost of power, procuring power has come down. So one of our large key customers, I remember they started with us around 3 years back. So that when they started going into solar, so they put up one plant of 300 kilowatt on a trial basis. It was in the year 2018, and today we are in 2021. We have already installed 5 gigawatt in all the plants in the country, and now they are coming up with the second phase of expansion. So they found the solar so useful and so much beneficial for them. So they are not only, now they are even going without net metering also. They are saying we'll use it for captive consumption. So this is one customer I'm talking about. So like that, there are many customers who have benefited from solar, who are very much convinced that it is a reliable energy, and the cost of grid power is increasing every year. So that is a big advantage.
And there's also possibilities. Are there possibilities of being able to sell excess back to the government?
Yes, that possibility is there. We had a very positive net metering policy, but of late, in the new guidelines that Electricity Act 2020, which was issued in December 2020, there, the government has restricted the net metering above 10 kilowatt. So they have only limited up to 10 kilowatt for the residential customers. So for the industrial customer, they have put a restriction, which is a very, very, not a very promising, activity or promising rule, I would say. So with this will not help the industries, will not go for solar. So a lot of representations have been made by the industry, and around 10 days back, Mr. RK, our power minister, he has issued a new guidelines that this policy will be reviewed, and he has asked for the input from the industry experts by 30th of April. So they are, trying to, increase the limit from 10 kilowatt to 500 kilowatt. So even if they are able to do that 500 kilowatt, so at least still it will be beneficial for the MSME sector. The MSME industries or the small industries which can have plants up to 500 kilowatt will definitely get benefit out of it. And I think that is a good move. So if we are able to do that, it will continue.
Brilliant. Vikas, unfortunately, our time is up. I mean, it's been great and fascinating speaking to you, and it's really good to see that Industry 4.0 isn't just looking after industry, but it's looking after the health of the planet as well.
Yes.
So thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with us. We have a virtual certificate which we're presenting to you, and it's going to be sent to you digitally. And as a token of our appreciation, we'll be planting a tree in your honor. So thank you so much. And folks, please stay tuned after the break, where we have Dhirendra Kulkarni from PTC India explaining how manufacturing companies can capitalize on the promise of Industry 4.0. In the meantime, don't forget to enter the polls and post your questions. Excuse me. And don't forget to get your photo taken at the photo booth and visit our exhibitors. See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye, everybody.